Jupiter. The largest planet in our solar system. $262,000 miles away is Io. The closest moon to Jupiter, 628,300,000 kilometers away from us, Earth, and 777,900,000 kilometers from the Sun.
Use your binoculars. Io will look much like it did from Galileo Galilei, who discovered it in 1610. 369 years later, the spacecraft named after Galileo sent back pictures of a violent world covered with active volcanoes, the first volcano seen in our solar system beyond Earth. Some of Io's volcanoes are like those in Earth's early histories, while others aren't like anything ever seen on Earth. On Io, plumes can rise 300 kilometers high, enough to give this moon a tenuous atmosphere. Some gases from Io's atmosphere get caught up in Jupiter's whirling magnetic field and are spun into a giant torus shaped like a donut, circling Jupiter. Some of the material falls back onto Io. Here it has formed a ring around the volcano named Pelee. Most moons in our solar system have a crater-covered surface, but Io's continuous volcanic activity is constantly changing its surface, erasing any impact craters that might have occurred. In January 2001, on its way to Saturn, the Cassini spacecraft combined forces with Galileo to study Io simultaneously from two vantage points. They found a new volcanic plume near Io's north pole. Galileo is currently searching for a possible magnetic field. It will see how Io's surface has changed, and if the volcano is still active, Galileo might fly through its thin gases right into its... Io was discovered on the 8th of January 1610 by Galileo Galilei. The discovery, along with 3 other Jovian moons, was the first time a moon was discovered orbiting a planet other than Earth. The discovery of the 4 Galilean satellites eventually led to the understanding that planets in our solar system orbit the Sun, instead of our solar system revolving around Earth. Galileo apparently had observed Io on the 7th of January 1610, but he had been unable to differentiate between Io and Europa until the next night. Galileo originally called Jupiter's moons the Medicean planets, after the Medici family, and referred to the individual moons numerically as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Galileo's naming system would be used for a couple of centuries. It wouldn't be until the mid-1800s that the names of the Galilean moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, would be officially adopted, and only after it became apparent that naming moons by number would be very confusing as additional moons were being discovered. Io was originally designated Jupiter 1 by Galileo because it is the first satellite of Jupiter. Io is the name for the daughter of Inchus, who was raped by Jupiter. Jupiter, in an effort to hide his crime from his wife Juno, transformed Io into a heifer. Io is known for being played by Gemma Arterton in the 2010 action thriller Clash of the Titans.
My name is Io, Perseus.
How do you know me?
I've watched you all your life. I guided you to your family.
You a god?
There are gods and there are men. And there are those of us who are in between.
The surface of Io is completely volcanic, with lava flows of sulfur from the interior. The heat for this volcanism comes from the special position of Io relative to Jupiter and the other moons. Io feels the gravitational pull first of Jupiter, then of the outside moon when they sweep by. The alternating pull from the gravity has a push-me-pull-me effect on Io, which deforms the moon and warms it just the way a coat hanger warms when you bend it first one way, then the other way. Due to this warming, Io has many volcanoes. Molten rock and gas blasts out from the frigid surface. The gas expands, shattering lava into a giant fountain of flying particles. With weak gravity and a fierce atmosphere, Io's plumes could reach 500 kilometers above the moon's surface. The moon Io has an iron-rich core, molten silicate interior, and a thin silicate crust. For Io to orbit around Jupiter, it has to travel 262,094 miles, which takes approximately 1.77 days. Compare that to the 27.3 days it takes for the moon to orbit the Earth. I am born on June 3rd, 1996. I'm 18 years old on Earth. My age would be the same on Io as it is on Jupiter due to the fact that they are orbiting the Sun together. I would be 1.56 years old, and my next birthday would be Sunday, February 23rd, 2020. On Earth, I weigh about 215 pounds. On Io, I weigh about 39.46. which is about the same on Earth as a 3-year-old child or an average human leg.